Привет, civilized world, this is news from Russia, aka Runglish news. It's a special episode about the Wagner Rebellion. It's finally over, so we can sum it up. Many guys were trying to post their comments as fast as possible to jump in the hype train, but they shit their pants instead, because the situation was twisting so often, all the predictions, all the expert opinions turned out to be bullshit. I don't want to tell you shit, and I'm not interested in that kind of hype, so I decided to wait until it's all over, and now I can give you a different point of view to all the situation, so you can compare it with what you see in the Western media and make your own statements. My name is ALBATROSS, шагом марш, ёпты, let's go. You all probably know the timeline of the rebellion, so I'd better tell you more about the background of Wagner Group, so you can understand how such a shit became possible in Russia at all. The most important fact in the Wagner story is that the status of such groups in Russia is totally unclear. According to the Russian constitution, the mercenary activity in Russia is illegal, so for groups like Wagner, is totally impossible not only to cooperate with the Ministry of Defense, but to exist at all. In many interviews in previous years, Putin strictly denies the fact that Russia is anyhow involved in Wagner's activities.
Я уже сказал по поводу Вагнера. Я сказал, что российское государство к этому не имеет никакого отношения. Говорит совершенно ответственным, без всяких задних мыслей. Там они договариваются, их местные власти приглашают на государственном уровне, благодарят их за проделанную работу и так далее, и так далее. Российское государство здесь ни при чем.
Russian Criminal Code states that a mercenary is a person who acts for the purpose of receiving financial benefit and is not a citizen of a state participating in armed conflict or military operations, does not permanently reside on its territory, and is also not a person sent to perform official duties. So, in theory, a private military company can exist in Russia if all its members are Russian residents and they do some basic stuff like training or security. But this is not even close to what Wagner does. They do the real warfare. Since 2013, Wagner Group is openly working with Russian army, and the Wagner members even receive the state awards, the same as military guys do. But on paper, Wagner is not the military. Look at this guy taking pictures with Putin in Kremlin in 2016. This is Dmitry Utkin, aka Wagner. It's his call sign. And this is actually the guy who gave name to Wagner Group. It's the first commander of Wagner. He was a Russian Special Forces officer, retired in 2013 and started working in Slavonic Corps Limited private company, which was taking part in military actions in Syria. So, when chilling in Kremlin with Putin, he already was the head of a private military company, of a mercenary group, which is totally illegal, but who cares? Russia is the country of possibilities. Everybody has a chance. For example, is it possible to become a Minister of Defense and receive a military general rank without having a military experience? No, it's impossible, you would say, but not in Russia. Sergei Shoigu, the Russian Minister of Defense, has zero military experience. Maybe the first deputy of Shoigu, Ruslan Tsalikov, has enough military experience for both. No. He hasn't served a day in Russian military. Zero experience too. He is just lucky enough to be Shoigu's friend. And this is how Russian military system works, unfortunately. If you wanna have a good position, you should not be qualified enough, you should be someone's friend, or someone's brother, or the husband of someone's sister, you know. In Russian we call it kumovstvo. Some of you can say that it's okay, that it's possible to control the military without having warfare or military experience, like Stalin, for example. He won the World War II without having the military experience. But on my own personal opinion, it doesn't work like that. It's not a good idea. I served in the military myself, and everything I heard or read or see in the movies about the army was absolute bullshit in comparison with the reality I faced when I entered the military. It's a special world, and you cannot be good in it if you don't, live in it. That's my opinion. A little bit later in this episode I will get back to my own military experience, guys, but not now. One of the reasons why I love my job is a chance to meet amazing people. I'm so happy about how many super talented guys I know because my music and my videos. One of my Russian language students is a guy who works in the team which created the world's only cryptocurrency with innate permanent post-quantum security. The name of it is QRL, or Quantum Resistant Ledger. Sounds pretty complicated, right? So let's super simplify it to understand what is it about. Most of modern cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum have been developed in the era of classic computation, when a quantum computer was something unbelievable, something like flying to another galaxy. But now the world is really close to the first quantum computer you can buy for money, and it will be an absolute game changer. For example, if we take the most powerful classic computer in the world and use it for hacking a Bitcoin transaction, it will take a classic computer hundreds of years to do this operation, but the quantum computer is way faster. So in the near future, it's really possible that it will fuck up the whole classic crypto system we have. Of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum are working on some improvements to protect their blockchain, but at the same time they have some fundamental unfixable flaws. While QRL is built from scratch as a post-quantum resistant crypto. So these guys are making future. Maybe now it sounds a bit crazy like Bitcoin 15 years ago. We all have that geeky friend who bought a Bitcoin for a couple of dollars many years ago, and we be like, what the fuck, man, you bought unreal shit for real money, it's a scam or whatever. And then boom, your geeky buddy with the food in his mustache becomes a millionaire, and you're smart as but still broke. This is why I bought some QRL, and this is why I recommend you to do the same. It's a really good opportunity to get in early. Now QRL is cheap but very stable, so you can buy some coins, protect your money from inflation, and get a real chance to be very rich in future. On the other hand, it's an absolutely unique crypto system, so it's good for diversification. For example, you have some of your funds in Bitcoin or Ethereum or other classic stuff, and you have some funds in QRL. If one of the universes gets collapsed, for example, if the Bitcoin will be fucked up by quantum computer, you don't lose everything, you still have some other stuff. So diversification is always a good thing. So guys, I highly recommend you to check it out and invest in QRL while it's pretty affordable. All the links will be in the description, and if you're watching this video from a TV, use the QR code you see on screen. Just snap it with your phone and you will get all the info you need. In Russian media you can hear a lot that Prigozhin's nickname is Повар Putina, which means Putin's chef. Before his Wagner career, Prigozhin was the owner of some restaurants liked a lot by Putin and his closest assistants. So he became a pretty trusty person, who they choose later to be the head of a Wagner company. Also, Prigozhin is the owner of an internet research agency, aka Trolls Farm, Bots Farm or Kremli-Bots. This company does influence operations and propaganda on behalf of Russian interests. Many American experts say that they influenced a lot the elections of the President of the United States in 2016, that they helped Trump to win, and that this company influenced the elections in Congress in 2018 a lot. So Prigozhin is not just a random businessman who has a good private army, no, he deeply involved in Russian political system. But Russia is Russia, you know, sometimes craziness just goes no limit. For example, everybody knows that Prigozhin is the head of Wagner. It's a fact. You can ask the random dog who is Prigozhin. The dog will say, whoa, Wagner! A couple of years ago, the head of popular Russian radio station Echo Moskvy, Alexei Venediktov, being on air, said that Yevgeny Prigozhin is the owner and the head of Wagner Group. And it was so obvious, like, why do we call the hand? Because that's the freaking hand. Like, how else could we call it? Prigozhin heard that and filed a lawsuit for protection the honor and dignity. Like, what the hell you saying about me? Who's the Wagner Group? I'm the Wagner Group. Fuck no, I'm not. So it was like, it's not a hand, it's we don't know what. In August 2022, the court partially satisfied the claim. So the court recognized the information about Yevgeny Prigozhin being the Wagner's head as unreliable. So actually the court stated that the hand is not the hand. Just imagine how fucked up is this. So guys, in Russia, impossible is nothing. By the way, a month ago, Prigozhin publicly admitted that yes, he is the head of Wagner Group. And Venediktov tried to initiate the lawsuit against Prigozhin this time, but the court says like, chill the fuck out, guys, that's over, that's enough, it's the past, forget it, go home. So, as you see, Wagner's legal status in Russia is very controversial. And this is one of the main reasons why the confrontation between Prigozhin and Shoigu actually has started. According to Yevgeny Prigozhin, the Russian Ministry of Defense deliberately provides less ammunition for Wagner than needed to spoil their effectiveness, to give them less power. But if we look at this problem from another perspective, it's pretty obvious. Let's imagine the guy in Russian military who is responsible for supplying ammo for all the troops. He has a list of divisions in Russian army, and according to that, he provides the ammunition for them. Like, okay, these guys need tanks, these guys need that, these guys need an airplane, and so on. The Wagner Group is not on the list. The Wagner Group is nobody. They don't have ranks, they don't have contracts with MOD, they are not controlled by the MOD. They do what they want. What if tomorrow Wagner starts the confrontation with Shoigu, with Putin, with anybody? What if tomorrow Wagner uses the given ammo against the Ministry of Defense? Who will be responsible for that? Of course, the guy who signed the paper to give them the weapons. So, of course, everybody is trying to cover their asses because on paper, Wagner is illegal. It's a mercenary group. It should not exist at all. Another thing, Wagner is a private military company. Private. Russia pays money to Wagner, and Wagner does some military stuff for Russia for this money. That's business. And if it's private, why Russia should give it the ammunition? Russia should pay money, and Wagner should resolve all the ammunition's problems itself. Because it's capitalism. You all wanted capitalism. You said like, oh yeah, welcome to the new era. Enjoy. But it doesn't work like that. This is what Putin says about paying to Wagner now.
Содержание всей группы «Вагнер» полностью обеспечилось государством. Из Министерства обороны, из государственного бюджета мы полностью финансировали эту группу. Вот только с мая 22 года по май 23 на денежное содержание и стимулирующие выплаты государство заплатило компании «Вагнер» 86 миллиардов 262 миллиона рублей.
Guys, what is the main characteristic of the power? It is the right to resort to violence. Only the government of the country should have this right, and the government should protect this right to keep the power. But what happens in Russia? They delegate the right to resort to violence to other guys who are not under government control. So they create another power. And when we have two powers in one country, we all know what's gonna happen. It should never be done. Of course, Russian government understood it, and they tried to eliminate the risk. They started acting towards canceling the Wagner Group, to force them to join Russian military, to make them less powerful, less effective, less popular, everything. But it was a little bit too late. We all know what happened next. Do you know what Russian people want most now? They want justice. This is why they like Prigozhin and Wagner guys. The marketing trick to call the rebellion the March of Justice worked as a charm. Now the official Russian propaganda tries to hide that fact, but it doesn't work. Unfortunately, Russian PR machine is shit, while Prigozhin's PR machine is good enough. Imagine a classic Russian family with a father or son mobilized to the special operation. They have a lot of problems. They have to buy him the bulletproof vest, the helmet, the boots, the uniform, because Russian military will probably give him nothing or give him something very, very poor quality. And his life will be even more in danger. They have to spend all the family's savings for this. Then, instead of several months in a training camp, the guy is thrown directly to the front line. He has to do some suicidal missions, shell hunger, food hunger, no rotation, no vacation, no payment in time. So the war for him is a real nightmare. It's total shit. The population has been asked to donate for buying clothes for the soldiers who mobilized, for buying drones, for buying some equipment, and at the same time, they see the elite's families spending billions in Dubai, in Paris, chilling like no problem. And at the same time, we see the government investing billions in some projects of the elite's families not related to the war at all, not important at all. And at the same time, they see Prigozhin, who gives proper rotation to his soldiers, vacations in time, payment in time in cash with no questions asked, rescue operations if you got wounded on the battlefield. They do everything possible to take you out, to save your life. And then Prigozhin publicly says exactly what people want to hear now.
У Шойгу зять ходит, булками трясет, а дочка открывает форты кронштадтские. Ты заработала на эти форты? Ты свои деньги тратишь на эти форты? Ну и боеприпасы, блядь, потрать. И когда министр обороны трясет своей доченькой и трясет каким-то уебком, который блогер сидит и еще пальцы гнет о том, что ему спецоперация не нравится, не мы придумали эту спецоперацию. Но мы взяли под козырек и сказали, если деревня попала в блудняк, если мы пошли пиздиться с соседями, надо пиздиться до конца. А получается, что мужики бьются, а кто-то просто прется от жизни. Кому-то просто нравится балдеть. Как может зять Шойгу поехать в Арабские Эмираты и своей попочкой трясти? Понятно, что сквозит голубизна. Такая, блядь, крепкая, сука, голубизна, блядь. Ну ничего страшного, это их там выбор семейный. Мне как бы наплевать. Но этого делать нельзя. И, к сожалению, дети элиты, в лучшем случае, они свои, извиняюсь, хлебальники закрыли. А некоторые из них позволяют себе еще определенную публичную, достаточно жирную, беспечную жизнь. Но, что очень важно, ведь не только у элиты есть дети. И когда у элиты дети мажут себя кремами и показывают это в инстаграмах, там, ютубах и так далее, а у обычных людей дети приходят в цинки, разорванные на куски, и когда мать плачет над своим сыном, а гаденыш в Арабских Эмиратах, он попкой крутит.
So Prigozhin and Wagner guys became superheroes. Everybody loves them. When Wagner captured Rostov, what locals started to do? They started bringing them food, drinks, flowers, taking selfies with them, shaking their hands, talking like, hey guys, you need any help? You're hungry? Whatever. Grocery stores gave them food for free. Cafes and restaurants refused to charge them for food. So it was like a total respect and love. When Wagners were entering Russia, the border guards refused to stop them. Nobody shot a single bullet. Police refused to block the roads. This is why it was so easy for Wagner to move to Moscow very fast with no problems at all. For many people, that rebellion was a hope that something can be changed, that Shoigu and Gerasimov will be finally substituted, and maybe it will be less casualties on the front line. Maybe the endless flow of deaths for nothing will be stopped. This is what people think. Because, many people don't understand what is the rebellion, what is the revolution, and how cruel it could be, even more cruel when the war. Of course, this rebellion was a no-win situation for Russia. Putin cannot substitute or fire Shoigu just because Prigozhin came to Moscow and started shooting the Ministry of Defense building with a tank. It doesn't work like that. The elite will always protect its members. Shoigu is Putin's friend. It's his body. If we use more simplified terms, they are from the one gang, the one clique. They made the way to the top together. And if Putin will cancel Shoigu, if he will betray Shoigu, like, okay, I throw you to the lion's cage because we got a little bit fucked up with Prigozhin, you know, sorry buddy, you fired. If Putin does something like that, all the other guys in their group, in their elite, will understand that tomorrow they can go next, that they are not safe anymore now too. So they all can rebel against Putin, and it will be the fucked up situation for everybody. That's why by any means Putin will protect his elite members, because these guys made him on the top, and these guys give him money for all this shit. These guys support him. So no way Putin will betray Shoigu. Maybe later Shoigu will be substituted, but I'm sure it will not be like, you other piece of shit Minister of Defense, go the fuck out, we got a new one. No, it will be something like they made him a hero of heroes and give him a greater post. I don't know what can be greater than the Ministry of Defense, but probably there are some options. Let's imagine this scenario number 2. Prigozhin somehow finds the way to dethrone Putin, gets the power and establishes the military dictatorship in Russia. All the world will be threatened as fuck. Why everybody loves to mess with Putin? Because he's very liberal. He's nice. So many country leaders use Putin as a doormat because they know after they betray him, after they lie to him, after they cheat him, after they don't back up their words, Putin will do nothing. Putin will be like, next time, please don't do this to us. You cheated us again. You betrayed us again. Please, would you be so kind? Don't do that, because if you do that, we will say, ay, we will. But everybody knows they will do nothing. They will just swallow it. That's why everybody loves Putin. That's why everybody is satisfied with Putin, because he's nice. Look what's going on with Russian sportsmen. They cannot use the flag. They cannot get a medal. They cannot say I'm Russian. They should just shut the fuck up and go perform being like a person with no name, no nothing. Can you imagine this happening to the sportsmen of the United States? Can you imagine somebody says, okay, America, you can perform only with no flag, with no nation, with no medals. Shut the fuck up and do the performance and go home. Can you imagine this? No way. America will never allow anybody to do it. Look what happened with Ukrainian Nazi leaders. They chilled in Turkey for several months, got a new iPhones from Abramovich, some cool stuff, and now they back to Ukraine, and now they legit on TV say, we're gonna go kill Russians again, and they even do the Nazi signs, but they just stop on this part. Then they don't do like Sieg Heil, they don't go ahead. And what Russia says? Russia swallows it. By the way, one of the primary goals of the special operation in Ukraine was denazification. We all see how this denazification is going. Nazi, after chilling in Turkey, are back to Ukraine and ready to kill Russians. Wow, amazing denazification. If someone doesn't know, these guys who just came back from Turkey, the leaders of Azov, who got captured in Mariupol, these are the naziest Nazi possible. This is like the Nazi elite in Ukraine. So these guys should be the target number 1 for Russia. But what Russia did? Russia exchanged all of them for one person, Medvedchuk, who is like oligarch. They let them go to Turkey, Dubai, chilling there. They let them go back to Ukraine, and now Russia says, oh, we don't care. It's Turkey's decision. It's not our decision. Turkey just uses you as a doormat. What the fuck? Prigozhin is an absolutely different type of leader. Prigozhin is not nice. On my own personal humble opinion, Prigozhin is more the United States way to go guy. He will do everything to make everybody respect Russia. And if anybody says shit against Russia, Prigozhin will do everything to shut him up. If you act against the United States of America, today they sanction you, Tomorrow they bomb the shit out of you, no matter how many casualties it will cause. Hello Hiroshima, hello Belgrade, hello Baghdad, and so on. From America with... I bet Prigozhin as a leader is that kind of guy. If he is the head of special operation in Ukraine, I'm afraid it will go Iraq scenario. Like 1 month of carpet bombing and that's it. So, in such a situation, the USA will have a risk to lose their exclusive right to do what they want, to bomb whoever they want. They have to consider Russia. And that will be the problem. It will be the collision of two equal powers again. And what if Prigozhin decides to launch the nukes? Because who knows what's in Prigozhin's head? He's not nice as Putin. If it goes this way, we all fucked up. We all will play Metro 2033 in real life. How we all? That 1% of us who will survive. So, when Lukashenko suddenly showed up and found the way to cool this shit down, it was of course better than the bloody revolution, but still a no-win for Russia. Now we showed the whole world how weak and freaked out could the Russian elite be, and also we lost one of the most powerful military units. I have my own opinion why Wagner guys are so good and why the Russian official military is much worse than expected by many people. I will make a separate video about this and publish it for the guys who support me on Patreon and also for the guys who are subscribed to my Telegram Runglish News channel. It will be the video where I'm telling you my own personal experience of serving the military. As the majority of Russian men, I served 1 year of compulsory military service, and I have a lot of crazy shit to tell you about the Russian military, guys. You can find all the links in the description, guys, so subscribe and enjoy. If you want to support my job with a couple of extra dollars, you can subscribe to my Patreon. It will charge you according to what you choose, like $2, $5, $10 and so on every month, and you will get an access for some extra content, like this video about the army, for example. And also I will post it in my Runglish News Telegram channel for the guys who broke as fuck, who don't have $2 to support me, but they are also interested in this video. It's up to you guys. You have a free access. But if you have a chance to support me, thank you so much. As we already know, for Prigozhin and the majority of Wagner guys, it will be no problems in future. The criminal case against Prigozhin will be closed, all the guys will be transferred to Belarus, where they can continue doing their business and living normal life. But what about the other guys who supported Prigozhin and Wagner rebel in Russia? For example, the border guards, who let them go without shooting. What about the policemen, who refused to block the roads? What about the civilians, who showed a lot of respect and support to Wagner, publicly and personally? I'm not sure these guys will not have problems with law. They probably will have some problems. Some of them can be fired from their jobs, some of them had been more fucked up, who knows? So from this perspective, Prigozhin have framed a lot of people in Russia, and I'm not sure these people will be safe. We will see later, guys, but I really have some concerns about that. Wagner guys work for Russia not only in Ukraine. They do a lot of very important missions in Syria, in Central Africa, in many places. And now they will probably not be able to do it anymore. I have no idea what political impact it will have, but let's see, guys. I think in the near future we'll figure it out. Also, we have no idea what Prigozhin is gonna do with his army in Belarus. Now Lukashenko has not only nuclear weapons from Russia, but also he has one of the most effective military units for free. Absolutely. Lukashenko is in a very good position and we have no idea what he's gonna do with it now. Let's see, guys. I will keep you posted. I don't wanna do any predictions on it. I don't wanna do my expert opinion because I'm not the expert at all. I'm just a guy who discusses with you what's going on in Russia, who tries to keep you informed. And all the statements you do by yourself. I wish peace to all of you guys. See you soon in the upcoming episode of Runglish News, which I hope will be much more entertaining than this one, because today it was a serious shit, but we cannot skip it. By the way, Natasha aka Bagheera says hello to all of you. While I'm recording this episode, she is celebrating her birthday, so today she is day off. But very soon you will see her in the upcoming episode. Best wishes, guys. Stay tuned. Don't forget all the links in the description. Пока!